So I've been using ChatGPT as my running coach for about 3 months now, and it's been very successful. Got a lifetime PB at half marathon a couple of weeks ago, which was very exciting. As far as I can tell, most people are missing the point with it though. They just use ChatGPT to create a plan, but it can do so much more than that, and I hope to tell you why or how. If you ask it to, ChatGPT will give you a generic plan, which you probably got from Runner's World, Hal Hilden, or wherever else you might look. The more detail you give it, the more customised the plan will be to your needs. So I'd recommend giving it your age, your running experience, your target race, recent PBs, height, your weight. The more data you give it, the more customised it's going to be. And I did that for my recent training block. It worked pretty well. But if you're just doing that, you're really missing the point, because ChatGPT can do so much more. The first thing that I do with it is every day I check in and tell it about my run. Now, ChatGPT doesn't have an automated link to Garmin or Strava or name your preferred platform, so you have to tell it how you did, which could be seen as a negative, but actually I think it's quite positive. I quite like that interaction. And recently I've taken to just taking a screenshot of the results of my run and just pasting it in, and ChatGPT can just read it, which is pretty awesome really, and it gives you feedback about how it thought you did, and it's quite detailed. But even that isn't really using it to its fullest capabilities. The real gold comes when you talk to it like a person, which is a bit strange when you first start doing it, and it helps if you give it a name. So I call it Gemma. I talk to her like I would talk to a real coach. We've had some really good chats about how to accommodate holidays into my training, which shoes to use, how to cope with injuries. I mean, the park's busy today. I keep having to cut away so I don't get some group of Japanese tourists in the background jabbering away. Mind you, it's lovely to have them here. Welcome them to our beautiful countryside. Anyway, so I was talking to ChatGPT like a person, and I'd have to say the feedback that Gemma gives me is probably very similar to what I would say to my athletes when I'm coaching on a good day. There are some problems with it though. She sometimes forgets things, important stuff, like when my race is. She recently started scheduling my taper for the wrong race, and I had to remind her when my race date was, which is okay, and it does point out one of the main learning points, which is that you have to drive the process. She's not going to come up with suggested changes in strategy, or she's not going to be able to see from the data that something's wrong. And if you don't tell her you've got a niggle in your knee or your calf's hurting, then she's not going to tell you to back off or stretch or do extra exercises. But if you do tell her, then she'll come up with some very have good advice. I recently had some glute pain, and she's given me glute activation exercises to do before every session, and she does ask, did I do the glute activation exercises? For quite a while I kept forgetting, and she came up with some good suggestions about how to stack habits so that I would complete them. And I've ended up with a written sign in my car and above where I keep my shoes saying glute activations. My memory, I tell you, it's unfortunate, but it does work. So I've managed to do them, and I think it has become a habit now. So I don't think you need to run an AI or any of those other subscription things. You can use ChatGPT, but if you're just using it to create a plan, then you're really missing the point. Are you using AI for running? Are you using ChatGPT? Do you have the same experiences as me? Love to hear your comments down below. Meanwhile, I'll get on with the rest of this 8-kilometre run. Need eyes in the back of your head here, running across the golf course. Sometimes I think they aim for me.